one saying I've said on Twitter so many times is, control the clocks, don't clock in.
What does that mean to you, control the clock? Because there's two types of time. What does that mean to you?
So to me, control the clocks mean be in control of everything you can possibly control. If you want to control your life and what you want to do, then you got to start working for Applebee's or McDonald's or whoever. And if you believe in yourself that much and you think you got the resources, start something.
Do you think you control yourself first by controlling your perspective? Because you're someone that has this great perspective.
I do. I think
that's the first step, right?
I think controlling yourself comes from the perspective, and then also being, the reality of where you see yourself. There's superficial reality where, I think I can do this. I want to make $1 billion. And I always tell people when I talk to people, right? Hey, what's your 5-year plan? My 5-year plan, I want to own my own business. Okay. That's at the end of your 5-year plan. Which is something we always do as humans. We know the end of the plan, but then, okay, what's the steps you're going to take to own your own business?
Reverse engineer that.
Everybody struggles in between year 1 and year 5 because they know the light at the end of the tunnel, but they don't know the darkness that they have to get through to get to that light.
You make a good point, because I always tell people it's easy to be inspired at the beginning of a game, and it's easy to be inspired at the end of the game. But it's the guys who can stay, like Ray Lewis, inspired from 10 minutes into the first quarter until the last 2 minutes. Right? That are in the middle of the game and they're playing just as if it was like we just saw a last second 2-point conversion to win the game.
Yeah.
There was a lot more energy on the field than when we were watching in the second quarter when it was 14-0.
I agree.
But the guys like Ray Lewis, when he was down 14-0, he would be playing the same on that play as at the end. And the same thing with these plans. Right? It's really easy at the beginning when you start a business to be all fired up. I always tell people, I think if somebody would explain to me in the last 10 years from going bankrupt to being a multimillionaire again, if they would have said, okay, Dave, here's your whole game plan of what you reverse engineer what I actually did, and that was told to me, instead of me focusing on just staying in business, always doing my best, being grateful, empathetic, accountable, and effectively communicate, instead, it's like, to me, the analogy would be, if I told you that I was going to give one of my most inspirational speeches, but during it, I want you to just watch the clock. That's what people do with their fucking job. And they wonder why they can't get anywhere. It's so uninspirational. Imagine, I'm there giving, top motivational speech. I'm moving people. They're crying. Everything I love. But your job is to watch the clock the whole time to make sure that my timing. How boring. And that's what people do in their job or as entrepreneurs.
I agree. I mean,
you'd be excited when it's over.
I like to take the football sense. Like, I tell people, and kind of your sense, you just traveled, you got up, you did it. I played something for Justin in the car that I sent to my employees today about Steve Jobs. Like, you got to love what you do. You got to love what you do. And what I tell people is, when I play on Sundays, bro, that's the fun part. You don't see Monday through Saturday. That's the work.
Yeah.
That's the grind.
Yeah.
That's the
but you got to enjoy that.
Put in. But I enjoy that.
Yeah.
So, like, getting on a plane, like, I'm here to you today. Needed help, needed mentorship, needed guidance, needed to have a conversation with my good friend. I'm going to Texas. Got to do some things with my wife. Then I'm in Atlanta for the foundation to kick off 2019. We're going to change some things in 2019. I'm in Atlanta. Then after Atlanta, I got to go to Tampa. I got a deal in Tampa that I got to do with a vodka company. Maybe we can talk about something.
Nice.
And then after that, after Tampa, I'm shooting to Tampa, Texas for a little 7-on-7 football all in because I'm doing some coaching. And then after that, I'm back doing the Denver to meet 2 wonderful women who are in the oil and energy. I never would have thought I had the opportunity to meet some of these women, and they want to help me and the company in different ways. And what I try to get people to understand.
And that's a week.
That's just a week of traveling. While I'm not playing ball right now. And the good thing is, I've had I got a couple friends who in the same situation I'm in, but lost or frustrated, or I'm not tripping. I know one thing I do know. I know I'm assigned next offseason. Or I'm going to sign soon if...
Hopefully my Chargers will call out tonight.
Hopefully, I sign soon for a playoff run. That one thing I do know, I know I'm going to get back in football.
Right.
Because, A, I believe it, B, I got the resume, C, but...
You know what's interesting?
I told myself, if I never get back in football again, I'm totally fine because I love what I'm doing.
And you've done the work. But you know what's interesting? I remember you telling me, we had another conversation about your journey when you were trying to figure it out and you were living in blame, shame, justification, and your coach told you, no, CJ, and that changed your career, right? You went to Cal, and you became the man. And I was thinking, as you were released a few days ago, for the first time, really, that you're not sure if you're going to play the end of the season. Of course, you might miss 2 games.
Right.
Not a huge deal, and you'll be back next season.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is it was the first time I saw you totally in a maturation where it's like, look, even if something should happen that's statistically not likely, right? Because sports is a circumstantial business, and the end of the season, the last 2 games, there was a circumstance that you didn't suspect, right? You get picked up. But in your mind, you're like, man, I've done everything I can to enjoy the pursuit of my potential at something else.
Yep, and that's what I mean by control the clocks. Like, I let one entity control, like I was telling Justin in the car, I let one entity control my life. That's the NFL. I let the NFL tell me when I got to go to practice, when I got to work. But I love that. Yeah. And I absolutely adore that. You know what I'm saying?
And it's a pretty killer entity. It's like working in the White House if you're a politician, right? I mean, people doing, and for me, it was like working with Leigh Steinberg. But when I was the CEO of Leigh Steinberg, I dreamed of being a sports agent, and I was the CEO of the most notable sports agency, and he had control because I loved it, and I loved him, and it was, and when it ended, then it became, you know what, I'm gonna build something where other kids are, and they do, which is, to me, like, such a fulfilling thing that there's kids today who look at me like they looked at Leigh going, I dream of working for Dave Meltzer or Sports One Marketing. Like, dream. I get them DMing me, right? Or just, to me, huge humbling factor that you tell me, Dave, I watch your videos, not just watch, I got tons, right? Yeah. And I love that. And it makes me feel like you do, because I know we have an 8-year-old in there who all I told him was CJ Anderson's coming to dinner and then to our house. And it was like the same thing. Like, you can't buy that.
No, you can't. And that's the.
And he's learning from you.
That's the love.
But he sees you, everything you do, and he looks up and goes, the business side of it, right? You're not some idiot.
No.
Right? And here you are, this great, like his Uncle Warren, this great guy that's totally savvy, and he's thinking in his head, man, I really want to be a professional football player like Warren and CJ, but if not, I want to be a businessman like Warren and CJ. Yeah, and I'm probably more capable of that.
And it's crazy. And the part is, like, this Saturday we're doing a sleigh drive.
Yeah.
We're giving over 500 toys.
Mattel gave all those toys.
Mattel gave all those toys. Like, my grandma's house, is her garage is, when you open it, it's just stacked full of a pallet of toys. And, we're doing that. And I posted that on Instagram today.
And your grandma, by the way, loves Miles.
Oh,
You got to tell her that you saw him, remember?
Yeah, I'll tell her.
See, like, he's so gory. Gave him, like, 6 hugs.
She loves him. But I posted that on Instagram today, and I read one of my comments, and my guy said, it was a guy who said, damn, CJ, you just got released, and you giving back.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
3 days ago.
And what I hit him with is, bruh, dreams never die, never stops, because I'm playing. It didn't start it because I was playing football, and it doesn't stop when I'm done playing football.
Right.
And it's to the point, like, he told me that, like, some athletes, he was saying some athletes, man, they get released or they get cut or they go through some things and they tend to, like, hide until they're back up. But what I told him is, dude, I'm never down. One thing I learned from my time in school as a philosophy major, I got my degree from Cal, was, Socrates said it best, all I know is I know nothing. And one thing, that is a fact statement. I know nothing of everything I know. That's how I look at it. Like, I know a little bit of entrepreneurship. I don't know everything about entrepreneurship.
Right.
So you better keep learning until you get to the master of entrepreneurship. Well, who's the master of entrepreneurship? Well, it's like what they say, who's the greatest basketball player of all time? It's Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant,
LeBron James.
Like, at the end of the day, they're all great. And I'll be an idiot not to take nothing from all of them.
Right. That's what I say. Gary Vee, Dave Meltzer, Ed Milet, whoever it is.
And that's what I'm telling myself now. I got you. I got G, I got Keith, I got Hero, I got Mike Dale. I mean, there's so many different VCs, Jody Bonsall, Garrar. There's so many different people that I see at you guys as great. And there's some things I go, I need to take that. Like the gratitude, how you run your business, you know, some of the things like what we talked about outside, that I'm not going to speak on unless you want
the secret sauce.
You want to know. Yeah. But some of the things you talk about outside, it's good to know that I'm doing some of those things. But it's also good to know, like I told you, I'm not doing that. I need to look into that.
Right.
Because I need to take it. Just like I believe one thing I do is, I mean, it's on my phone. I'm going to bring this out. But one thing I do believe in everything is balance. And like you said, there's a video I sent of Gary is fuck mentorshipping.
Yeah.
You don't need that shit. It's all over YouTube. Just go do the fucking work. I believe in that. Get your ass in and go work.
But what he is saying is there's other what I think what Gary's saying is he believes in mentorship, but find the easiest way to do it.
Yes.
Like don't spend your time interning for one guy.
I agree.
Like go on the internet.
It's
like you and I don't talk as often as I'd like to because you were playing.
Right.
But you were obviously I was a mentor of yours from my videos, and I'm learning.
Time. There's not a video that you or a podcast that you don't drop that I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get to this podcast.
Right.
I'm gonna get to this. I mean, what I believe in balance. And on my phone, I have the yin yang.
Yeah.
And I do agree when it says we're not meant to be perfect, but we're meant to be whole. And the only way I'm gonna be whole is if I take what Gary said, grind. You know, that's G.
Yeah.
And have empathy. You know what I'm saying? Be grateful and be happy. But
forgiving.
But on your end, it's on a so much like Gary has that firm bed, and then you got the other sleep number bed on the other side with the bed all the way down soft. You know what I'm saying? That I like to slay on too. Like, I need to be super nice. I need to be
Don't you think Gary and I are in some ways yin and yang in that he's so hard, right? He swears, I cry. Yeah. Right? But I have, like, although I'm the soft side of the sleep number, I'm really firm.
Oh,
like we both have resolve. It's just like you. Like no one's gonna outwork Gary or I or you.
Yeah.
Like I see Gary's video and I know what he's going through because he knows what it's like I did the other time. 36 hours to Hong Kong to go to Rise, fly home just to see the baby boy, grab his butt, go down to Mexico City to speak for junior achievement, go back again, right? And in 72 hours, you're sitting there and everyone else in the world time is on a 24-hour linear time frame. And you're like, do you realize what I just did in the last 72 hours? And yin and yang, but also understanding balance isn't 25% personal experiential giving and receiving. Sometimes it's 90% on something.
Yes.
And I think people have to know, just like I have a real resolve and a hard side and a firm part of my mattress somewhere in there, Gary also has the Dave Meltzer side.
Great
super soft side.
Super soft. And that's what some people don't understand.
But he pushes the hard and I push the soft. I push allowance, right? And he pushes make things happen. I push allow them to happen. But they both take the same fortitude.
I do.
They take the same proactively claiming it. Right, and there's so similar, but so.
Because how I look at it is, there's a time to let it allow.
Yep.
And, I go, what would Dave do? You know what? He'd probably do this. I know. And then there's a time where it's like, bro, you ain't on your shit. Come on.
Right.
And I gotta give you that.
And it's so funny because
to light it.
I put out my side, but there's some times that I am a bad. Even Julie looks at me and goes. Gets a little tingly, just going, where's the crying guy that loves his mom? Right? Because there has to be.
Yes. Like I told you, I take the gratitude from you. I take the hard fluff from Gary. One thing I took from Keith Crock is, he said, CJ, ain't it mighty funny that you spent 20 years chasing one dream? You spent 20 years of your life chasing one dream. He said, as for me, I've spent 50 years chasing multiple dreams that gave me multiple different results to put me in the position I'm in today. And I sat back and said, damn, how? He said, because I had the resources and all these other different. And now, I take football and I'm not attaching myself to it because it's not all I know, like some athletes.
Right, you've not limited your point of entry.
I'm not limited So now it's like business, foundation, deals, consulting,
marketing, branding, speaking, right? All the things you have. Social media platform.
Dreams to ask for whatever execution and whatever goal I got. for what I want to get accomplished and what I want to get done. And when Keith told me that, I said, bro, that makes sense, because at one point, like I said, with Dreams Never Die, we're providing inner city youth for resources outside of athletics and entertainment, because all the kids in my neighborhood, all they want to do is be the next me or the next E40, next me or next Too Short, or next Marshawn Lynch. And they will waste, I'm not saying waste, but they will spend 20 years of their life for that goal. And then when that goal doesn't happen, they just think they're unhappy. They're 21.